Yeah, I'm very excited. First of all, I'll say that this is a lot bigger stadium than I pictured it would be. It's a very cool experience for me. It's an honor to be a representative for Nebraska football and the teammates I got back home. It's looking forward to this season. I think this is a good jumpstart for us. So yeah, hopefully I would love to play in this stadium. Hopefully we're back here in the as the Big Ten West champs, and hopefully even further than that, a couple months down the road. Hopefully we're back here for the combine. So. Yeah. So I think the biggest change that we've had as an offense as a team has been it's more of a player-led leadership type standpoint now. It's going to be one of those things where, unless otherwise directed, we're going to lead this way as players, and we're going to hold each other accountable in that regard. But unless otherwise directed by Frost, we're going to lead this way. If he wants us to go another way, we'll go that way. But it's more of a, as players, we're going to take over and get accomplished what we want to get accomplished, and hopefully it could be a thing where Frost just oversees that. Not in 100 years. If you would ask me when I was 10 years old if you would be speaking at Big Ten Media Days in Lucas Oil Stadium when you're 22 years old, I'd said you're crazy. But here we are. I'm blessed with the path that my life has taken me to. Very, very blessed to be here, and I just got to thank the people who's got me here. So. Yeah, I think we have an awesome room. I think we have one of the best in the country. It's our tight ends as a whole. I think we just got some playmakers. I mean, we got Fedoni as an athlete coming in. It was unfortunate he had an ACL injury in the spring, and that'll sit him for most of the season. But we got Travis in. Travis started at a Big Ten university as a true freshman. That's not very common nowadays. But we got playmakers in the tight end room as a whole, and I look forward to seeing what my brothers can do this season. Yeah, I think my biggest step I took forward is my leadership role. I think that started with, I was the number 2 guy a lot of times in the last couple of years with Jack Stoll being the number 1 tight end. And I played the more number 2 role. But last season in the first game of the year, I mean, it was unfortunate, but Jack had a knee injury. He had to have knee surgery on, and it kind of propelled me to be the guy at tight end. It was kind of a thrown into fire situation when it comes to leadership, because a lot of people look to the tight end position as being a leader because, we have a lot to do with the run game. We got a lot to do with the pass game. We got to understand both, and we got to be able to communicate with both sides of that aspect. So, that situation last year with Jack, I think, what propelled me in my spot as a leader on the team. Yeah, it says a lot about them as people and their love for Nebraska. It just shows how much they want to see Nebraska football succeed again. They want to be a part of being the stepping stone for Nebraska to take off an upward trajectory. And I think we're really close to it because, we got a new millions of dollar complex coming in. We got almost an entire team with Frost recruits. I mean, this is where Frost wants to be. I mean, even with that new complex, like I said, it's going to be attracting more recruits. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to a school with a brand new facility? Like it's awesome, and I think we're just scratching the surface of what Nebraska football is going to be in the next decades. Mm-hmm. It's a challenge. You're right, but it's also getting the offense better because we're playing against guys that have now had 4 years of understanding what Coach Chinander wants to get done as a defense, and it's getting us better as an offense because you got guys so disciplined in what they do as a defense. And I think they returned 10 starters as a defense, and that's unreal for a Big Ten. I mean, that's hopefully they're the best Big Ten team as a defense. I mean, that's their goal, I know, but it's getting us better as an offense going against guys who've been in a Big Ten team for 4 or 5. Now Ben Staley's 6th year, and that's awesome.
Austin, a little off the wall question. If you could sign naming of likeness to any brand of your choosing, which one would it be?
Ooh, putting me on the spot now with the companies I'm already talking to, but I'm an outdoors guy, so I would probably pick some sort of clothing camo brand or a weapons brand. I'm an outdoor enthusiast, so I don't know. I wouldn't probably pick one. I mean, I would love a new truck. So I mean, maybe Ford, maybe Chevy. They would be a nice deal for me. But yeah, new truck.
What's been your take, Austin, on the early wave of the NIL? What sort of really impressed you?
Mm-hmm.
For you individually and I know there's a lot to take out.
Yeah. So individually, I'm not necessarily for or against it being passed. I mean, but it got passed, and so here we are. I'm gonna take advantage of it while it's here. I don't necessarily want to turn my Twitter into an ad-filled Twitter. Like it's not really what I want to do. But I mean, everybody's got their price. If somebody's willing to pay, I mean, I'll tweet whatever, or I'll do whatever. I'll show wherever. But with brands that I think are good brands. But I think across the board in college athletics, name, image, and likeness is going to be a big deal for us. And I think a lot of teammates have already taken advantage of it. I know Adrian's done the degree and done some local restaurants in Lincoln, and he's hopefully he makes a lot of money from it. I mean, he's using his name, image, and likeness. But I think it's going to change the landscape of college athletics for the better. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest change that we need to see is the players being able to take care of what players should be able to take care of. Like, what I mean by that is Frost shouldn't have to take care of somebody not picking up after themselves in a locker. Just being a disciplined football player, being a disciplined human, being able to take care of yourself when nobody's looking. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes guys need babysat, and that shouldn't be a coach's job. It's on us as players to toughen that guy up. He shouldn't have to do that. It's on me to discipline a guy when he doesn't do the right thing, shows up late to a workout. It shouldn't have to be any coaches. It should be player-led, and it should be only taken care of within players. It should never get up to the high office of Coach Frost.
Austin, you're a Nebraska guy. I mean, obviously Nebraska football, big deal. What's it like for you, home, playing in front of family, friends, representing the state of Nebraska?
Mm-hmm. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I went to Nebraska. Nebraska is where all my family's from. I have one set of cousins that live in DC, but other than that, everybody's from Nebraska, and that's where my family is, and family's important to me. It's where I want to be. But getting Nebraska back to where it should be, I mean, it's my goal as a player, as an in-state guy. I owe it to the Nebraska community. I mean, the state of Nebraska. They invested so much in the athletes and invested so much in me. It's only right if I give it my all to give it back to them in wins, so to say.
You played on the other side in high school. I mean, what's it like now? You're in a big-time college playing, but you see those guys on the other side of the line. I mean, can you react knowing that you were a defensive guy also in high school to kind of figure what they're doing? Does that help you in your career?
Yeah, so it's kind of beneficial to me going to a smaller type school where you can play both sides of the ball. But it helps me have an understanding of defenses and whatnot. It also helps to have a coach who has coached defense for many years, and it helps me have a better understanding of what defenses are trying to get accomplished with certain schemes and certain zones and whatnot. And so I think that's the biggest thing for me, and also just not necessarily having an understanding the other side of the ball, but playing other sports. With basketball, there's a lot of times on a route you're just finding open area, getting open, being a big body and throw a big body ball and we'll catch it. And that's kind of like basketball. You just be a big body, box some guys out, and go make a play.
Austin, you know the passion of Nebraska's fan base, and you also know how important the sellout streak is to Husker Nation. Trev Albert said today that there's still some ways to go to keep the sellout streak going. Do you have a plea for the fans for that to continue, or in your opinion, is it okay for that to continue this year?
I know the sellout streak means a lot to a lot of fans, and I encourage Husker fans to not let that happen because that's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. But I think in my eyes, it's not always about sellout streaks. It's about, the passion of the fans. It's about, I want 85,000 passionate fans that are giving their all to Husker athletics, and I don't want 5,000, guys that are just gonna, flip you off and call you this and that. They don't need that. It's Husker athletics though. But fans are gonna be passionate. They're gonna say what they want to say on a loss, and they're gonna say what they want to say on a win. So, come one, come all. Let's keep this sellout streak going.
Big smile. So you're the team's leading receiver. Leading pass catcher coming back from last season, Wandale. Do you see yourself having a bigger role in this fall? Do you plan on having more receptions?
Yeah, I hope so. Coach Lubick, offensive coordinator, has been not harping on Travis and I, but in our ear all offseason, telling us ways he's going to give us the ball. Hopefully he's true to his word and keeps that. But, we got playmakers in the tight end room. Travis Vokalek, Thomas Vidoni, if he was healthy, Chris Hickman, they're all guys that can play. And hopefully I think the coaches are starting to understand that and see that. And being the leading receiver or returning receiver, I guess, is doesn't mean much now. It's gone, it's past, and it's a new season now. So hopefully we just showcase what we have to showcase in fall camp for the coaches to understand that he can trust us.
Follow up on that. With Adrian Martinez, how far have you come along in this fourth season with the offense?
Yeah, he's come a long ways. He keeps growing as a leader. You would think as a true freshman, how can this guy become a better leader? But he keeps growing and growing and growing, and he's taken a big leap this offseason. He's lost probably 15 pounds. He's slimmed down. He's hungry for this team to get turned around. He wants to give it all to Nebraska, and that's what he's told me. He said, I got nothing to lose. I'm going to give it all for Nebraska because Nebraska's giving it all to me.
One more for you. Follow up. Everything starts with the offensive line. We've seen the growing pains. And when Cameron Jurgens, when he very first came on, I remember Coach Frost saying he was going to be the next Dave Remington. He has got better with the snaps. Do you see the offensive line as a strong unit for the offensive coach?
Yeah, I think we got 5, 6, 7 solid guys a lot of those guys have experience, whether they're just getting into a game at the end last year, but college experience is college experience, and I think we got a handful of guys that do have that experience. What I'm curious to see in fall camp is those freshmen. We got some very talented guys, Teddy Prochazka and Henry Letufsky, big body guys that are going to play football for a long, long time. I'm curious to see how they embrace that role as true freshmen coming in, competing with guys like Turner Cochran and Bryce Benhart, the guys who started last year, on this Big Ten football team. So I have a lot of trust in our line, and that trust is only going to grow in fall camp.
The Nebraska football players are very recognizable on campus. I'm just curious about your thoughts about NIL and what it can do for you and your teammates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so NIL, I think especially at Nebraska, is going to be huge because the market's so big. There's no NFL, there's no NBA, there's no pro soccer, there's nothing. It's Husker athletics, and that's what it is. And so I know fans are going to see that and take care of us. So it's hopefully when people start figuring out how to actually do deals and brands, I think it's the biggest holdup right now. Nobody understands how to approach us. Do I go up to the athlete and ask him personally, I'm going to give you this much money to do this? There's more to it. You got to go through compliance. You got to do that, and I don't think that's what businesses understand. But I think it's going to be huge for Nebraska, especially. Yeah, there's some local stuff here and there with guys that are wanting me. The local physical therapy in Aurora, where I did my knee rehab in high school. They wanted me to do a commercial. I'm all for that. I'll support you. But it's just I got to tell them you got to go through the compliance office somehow, and you got to figure it out. It's new to me, so it's new to them and it's new to everybody. So
some coaches have talked about distractions during the season and maybe there could be jealousies in the locker room. I guess it's kind of the flip side to this. What are your thoughts in terms of how to keep the team cohesive and kind of do this?
Yeah, so I think it's I think it's going to be too big of a distraction. I think it's just, it's going to be a thing we obviously look at because who's not intrigued by money? But it's not going to be such a distraction that deters us from football because that's why we're here. That's why we have scholarships. That's why we love the university. It's why we love playing the game. It's for football. So I don't think people are going to get too distracted. But if somebody's so distracted by that, they're not going to be playing. So it's what it is.
Are you and Travis competitively competing against each other? You had 18 catches last year. Are you looking to capitalize on that? And is Travis trying to catch you with that?
Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a competition.
Well, right.
Yeah. But
fun.
there's always he's my roommate. He's my roommate. So there's
You have more catches than him, right?
that's right. Yeah, selfishly, I want 40 more catches than him, but he knows that if I have a great game, if I have 12 catches and he's got 2, he loves me for that, and I know next game that he's gonna have a good game. I'm gonna love him for that. But there's a little bit of competitiveness here and there, and that's just the nature of who we are as humans.
Is there anything that you could see yourself doing differently this year, which will lead into more receptions for yourself? Is there anything that you could do?
Not necessarily that. I mean, there's always things you can get better in the beginning of routes to get open. I mean, there's ways you can, different techniques you can use off the line of scrimmage in the open field around defenders. So there's ways you can get open better. It's not necessarily ways you're going to attract the ball more, but Adrian's going to trust his reads and he's going to get through them, and hopefully that comes to the tight ends a lot, So.
You have that kind of coming down the pipeline. You also talked about desire to sort of right the ship here. So I guess how do you balance wanting to show stuff?
I think individually everybody's going to have to, every day at practice, every rep is film, is an interview for the NFL. And I mean, that's everybody's goal, is to get to the NFL, but every interview, every practice, every rep is only getting the team better, because you're giving the best individual effort at your position. And if I'm giving my best individual effort and the right tackle is giving his best individual effort, as a team, we're giving our best individual effort. That just now, as a team, we just need to combine that into the best team. So it's all collectively working together for the better, but it's not necessarily me doing my best is going to deter the team's goal. That it's not going to hurt the team any that I'm giving it my all to try and make it to the league, because I mean that's everybody's goal. Everybody's working for that. So, yeah.
Russ, in the